It's a technical Wednesday. There were some technicals this morning, William, as you can imagine.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. See, you know what? He's right on time. And he said he wouldn't be right on time. So I said, well, we'll
Yep.
start here. And then when he shows up, we'll do this. Oh, I'm so confused. Everyone's here. Holy Moses.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Why does it still say he's in the green room? Why are you not coming through, Scotty? Oh my God, everybody's showing up. All right, so we're just going to go to the 4-up now. It's very confusing. I apologize, everybody. There's Scotty. All right. Yeah, it had you locked in. Oh, you know why? Because I had the 3-up with Corey's spot, questions and things that people don't need to know. I'm going to fix this now. Welcome into the ATB show. It's a complete technical. We're getting teed up. I can't wait to talk about the Celtics with you guys, and you're all dolled up in your Celtic stuff. Missoula's been prime Missoula the last couple of weeks. He's Belichickian in the post-game he really has come into his own, cool, calm, and collected. But the other night, don't ask me about the trade, I don't care, was phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Anyway, we've got Corey on the way, so we're gonna leave his blank box up there for a little bit while I fix all this stuff. Scotty's back, I believe, from being a basketball dad for a little while at least. And are you injury free? Could you stand up and do deep knee bends right now?
I probably could, yeah. Nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants to see that. Okay.
Nobody wants to see that.
Okay.
Yeah, injury-ish free. Physical therapy, was kicked off, and I'm getting there. But yeah, no basketball for me to play, at least. Coaching was fun. We had a great year. Finished 8-5, and the kids had a lot of fun. And we're actually tomorrow. If we have school, if there is school, we'll be out on the court for senior night. All the 8th graders
very cool.
Get awesome. Brought onto the court and talked about, and future of Marshwood basketball.
I love that.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah, I love that. Big Nate dropped a shot the other day. There was a video in the chat about that, which was very cool.
I meant to send you. He dropped 6 actually the next night. Next game, he had scored 6 points. Yeah, he had.
Awesome.
I'll send the video. I meant to send it.
It's in the bloodline. White chocolate. Yeah, he's breaking ankles and hearts all over the place. Good for him.
That's right.
That's amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah, he worked hard all year, and the kids did too. The boys were. It was a special group of kids, man, and the way they embraced Nathan, especially, and everything, and how hard they worked at practice and stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was a really good season. Had a blast.
Yeah, coaching. I don't think we've ever shared the story of how I triumphantly left coaching football. It's a good one. I feel like you two may have heard it at some point, and it's another story for another time. But you guys both know Rich Slattery, Coach Slattery, that I play in the men's league on Monday nights with, and we've known each other forever because our boys were playing Pop Warner together. So that's how we got to know each other, and I just call him Coach. And he was head coach this year, the year that this took place. It was my last year, little did we know, until this day. And I was OC, and we're in the, the finals for the state. We're playing Merrimack, and when it gets to a certain point, and Merrimack was super good. We knew we were probably going to get our lunch money stolen. And when it hits a certain point at the Pop Warner level, you have to now hand it off and stay between the tackles. No more sweeps, no more passes, right? And we were in that zone. Also, it might shock you, you also can't spear people. You can't lead with your head. And this coach was staying inside the tackles, but their kids were just running over our kids. And it was unsafe, remarkably unsafe. So I'm losing my marbles, but I can't talk to the refs. I'm getting yelled at for trying to communicate with the refs. Rich is yelling at me because I'm trying to talk to the refs. And I finally yell one more thing, and the ref turns around, points at me, and he throws the flag in the air. This is where it becomes Seinfeldian. Look at this. See, everybody's here now.
I guess stuff in the background.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh no,
Maggie's dinner time.
I love all of that. Corey's here. Wonderful. Hey, buddy. Welcome in. talking about when I got kicked out of youth football. Stand by. So the flag feels like it's in the air for about 3 hours, and I'm holding my clipboard, and I'm like, well, this is gonna hit me if I don't catch it. So the flag's coming down. Now, mind you, my dad's still with us at this point because this is years ago. Aiden's still playing Pop Warner, obviously. And my dad's in attendance, and he's in the wheelchair at this point. So he's just inside the fence. He's like the only civilian on the field. And obviously at this moment, I'm blacked out. So I'm not really realizing that Richard Lindsay's sitting there in his Vietnam gear watching my game. And the flag's dropping, and I'm like, I must have had a conversation with myself, like, what's the most ridiculous thing I could do with this? So I catch the flag, and mind you, Coach Slatter is huge. He's like 7'2", right? If he gets in front of the sun, you call him midnight, you know? So I catch the flag, and I start running towards him, screaming, we're getting married, we're getting married. And I jumped into his arms. I was ejected from the field. So I go back up. I'm walking past my dad, and there's a conversation that happens between me and the ref, which, you know, you can imagine how that went. I'm asked to leave the field. I go up, I walk past my dad. I just look at my dad, and I nod at my dad, and my dad's just like looking straight ahead, just like, oh, dear God, what is happening? So I go up and I sit down, and of course, Cheryl's up there, and she's sitting with Cameron. And I sit down, and she's like, I just don't. I'm like, Mom, not now. She's like, she's about to start the I just don't understand speech, you know? And I'm like, not right now. And then our team mom comes over, and she's looking, and she finds me in the stands, and she's like, you have to go. Like, I didn't have to leave the field. I have to leave the facility.
Yeah.
So I went out and stood by my car. And as the game was ending, you know, 92% of the parents came over and thanked me for sticking up for the kids. But I lost my mind. And you can imagine me all worked up. Sober, because we were coaching youth football at the time. All worked up. I just laid into this ref. He's like, he goes, you got to shut your mouth. I'm like, you need to throw flags on the field, not at the coaches. He's like, I'm doing my job. I'm like, it doesn't feel like it from here. I mean, it escalated quickly.
I can't imagine you doing that.
Crazy. Isn't it crazy? So we get to next year, and I had to go in front of the tribunal to fight for my life. And it was a witch hunt. And we were sitting there, and God bless Coach at the time. We're sitting there, and Coach is like, so, all right, so you need him to go get, like, character references that he's okay to be around the kids that he was defending. And basically the president of our league, now defunct, by the way, Seacoast Titans, rest in hell. He's like, he has to go get character references. He's been a phenomenal coach, blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And they're like, yeah, well, and I'm like, and Coach and I went out in the hallway. I'm like, I'm not going. This is a witch hunt, dude. I'll step away. I can be a better parent than I can be on the field. I'm not going to fight my way into a field I shouldn't be kicked off of. And we walked back in. He said nothing to me. And they're like, what's your decision? I'm like, I'm going to step away. And they're like, all right, you can excuse yourself from the meeting. And Coach stood up. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, we're both leaving. It was awesome. Yeah, it was pretty awesome because, like, the whole coaching staff basically pieced out. It was like ridiculous. It was ridiculous that I did what I did, but it was also, it's a great story to tell. We're getting married. Like, I caught the bouquet. Like, everybody's like, why would you do that? I'm like, I don't know. I did it in the moment because I was losing my mind because these kids were just spearing our kids, staying in between the tackles, just spearing our kids. And there was like 35-3. I don't know what the score was. Doesn't matter. Totally stupid. Ask Aiden. He'll be like, I don't want to talk about it. Probably for the rest of his life. My dad was a blushing bride. That was a football game. But anyway, so you didn't get kicked out of your league, Coach, which is really good. Proud of you.
I almost did. Actually, it was funny. I
feel like you got a little Bobby Knight in you. You throw a chair this year? What'd you do?
No, no. I wasn't the head coach either. I was the assistant, and I was trying very hard. There was a few times.
Sam Cassell.
Actually, a good friend of mine, Corey Owens, who's a pretty prominent basketball player in this area, played for Portsmouth and stuff, and really good AAU coach now. And he happened to be there because the team we were playing against, he has like 6 kids on there that play for his team. And as soon as he said that, I was like, we're going to get smashed. And we did. But there was a couple of times the refs made some just atrocious calls. And I turned. He happened to be kind of like sitting behind the bench to my right. And I turned, and my face was just beet red. And one of the calls was a travel, and Corey looks at me and he's like, that wasn't a travel. And I'm like, if you look at my face, I know. And I'm trying so hard not to say anything right now and just trying to keep my composure because I don't want to lose it in front of the kids. And yeah, So it was, but no, this year wasn't terrible in regards to officiating. I definitely had some words, but the lucky thing is a lot of the refs in this area, I know them. I either played basketball with them, or they used to coach or used to ref the men's league I ran for almost a decade, here. So, so I know a lot of the officials. So that would made things a lot easier. Yeah. But yeah, it was definitely some moments for sure. No chair throwing though.
So you threw in the chat, you and your brother Stevie, also known as John Lester, in the wild. Yeah. You guys were you at Mohegan?
We were this Saturday. Went down there with Chernick, flew up from Virginia, and my brother Steve and his future son-in-law Travis.
These were post-birthday festivities, I trust?
Yeah, yes. Okay. Yeah. We didn't get a chance to get together, and so it was a week late basically, and we went down, and
I feel like you made up for it.
It was a good time. Yeah, it was a good time.
You edited. You had to grammatically edit a few texts. I could tell you were a little off the rails.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I went down there fighting the cold that I had
as your friend who loves you and pines for your safety, I was very happy to see that you were only an elevator ride away from your room. That made me very happy. Yes.
Makes a big difference. So no huge wins. I won, a few hundred. I was up 800 something at one point, but Mohegan giveth and taketh away. So
and Stevie in the scally cap with his just robustly red face and the gin blossoms, and are you exhausted from containing him when you spend the weekend at the casino? It has to be like a full-time job. That one picture of him, I'm like, oh, he's already there.
We designated that to his future son-in-law Travis. Chris and I said, you are in charge of him, because Travis doesn't drink very much. So I said, you follow him wherever he goes. If he gets in trouble, we're going to take it out on you.
Yeah.
And so Travis was in charge of him. Steve and Trav had a room down the hall, and Chris and I had a room as well. So I was like, yeah, you guys, you take care of him. I want nothing to. I've had my many years of Steve duty. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm off the hook.
Excuse me. Is
any trip that we do?
The best thing to prove how tuned up Stevie can be at certain moments is I will always remember his identity on Xbox is misspelled.
Yep.
Is Demolion instead of Demolition.
Yep.
Because he was just like, he fat fingered it in, and he's like, I'm going with it. It's going to be fine. Yep. It's going to be great. And you guys remember when we would go to Patriots games, there were certain people that would come when I had my 4-pack of tickets. As soon as we got inside the gate, I took their ticket away and threw it out. You are here, but you're not mine. You are no longer mine. You don't have a seat. You cannot say that you're sitting in my seats. If you get arrested, you snuck in. Because that's a hack. I know you're still on the waiting list to get your seats, which I have to imagine you must be escalating up that list. Because
I'd love to know.
Even with all the positive changes, you got no light at the end of the tunnel. They don't give you any idea where you.
No, it's actually part of like the stipulations. They don't actually tell you. And even if I was actually going to like try to add a ticket, because obviously now I have 3 kids and everything. I was going to add to it, but I don't know if I can, and if that changes my waitlist status or anything like that. I was trying to look that up, but they're super secretive about the whole thing. I mean, I do get some benefits from it.
Yeah,
being on the wait list, like access to tickets and events and stuff.
Yep.
Outside of that, it's not. I've been on it for
years.
This will be the 11th, going into the 11th year. Yeah.
Holy cow! Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
2 tickets.
See, I jumped on the waiting list when Parcells showed up.
Right.
And it was still a wait, because don't forget.
I was just saying, you were on it though, because you didn't get yours until
I got my official seats when the new place when Gillette opened.
Yeah.
My last year on the waiting list was Foxborough.
Yeah, so you got them in 02.
I believe you.
02 or somewhere around there.
2001 was the last season of Foxborough. Sure. Yep. And I jumped on what Parcells was at 94.
That's around the same time actually. So it's 8 to 10 years. He got here in 93. I got 93 was his first year.
93, 94, yeah.
And that was back in the day when you could have preseason. You could have waiting list season tickets, and they would sort of just get every week. I was in a different part of the old Schaefer Stadium, which was the nicest high school stadium in America. But now Chestnut Hill University has ripped that gauntlet. We have the nicest high school stadium in America now, and we're sticking to it. We've got to talk about Luka. I love that I have all my basketball heads here. I'm 1,000 years old, so I'm crashing early these days, as you can imagine, because I go to bed. When I go to bed, I'm not fighting my eyes. I'm certainly not staying up for West Coast basketball. I woke up and I always check my texts because those are always right there, right? And just the interest of like what's going on with the boy, especially on a weekend night out at school. And all I see from Bubba is just a big no, like, you know, and then he's like Luka to the Lakers. I'm like, what? So I go and I start looking, and I texted you guys, and Shaq said something interesting the other night, and then I want everybody else's take. Shaq feels like Dallas got the good part of it for the next 2 years, he feels. Like Dallas is actually the winner right now for the next 2 years. But your initial reaction when you heard the news, talk to me. Start with Corey.
I thought it was fake news. This is like everybody else. No way.
Yeah, everybody thought Shams got hacked, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thought Sham got hacked.
And then I'm like, I agree with Shaq. They're more balanced, but are they better long term? I don't think so. I don't think
Absolutely.
they wanted. I don't think they wanted to pay Luka that much money. They want to move from where they are right now and be in Austin, right? And they're getting a hard time from Texas to Dallas to do that. So because they're still good. So maybe their thought is, well, if we're bad, maybe we'll be able to move out of this deal and be in Austin. Because Austin is up. If you've been to Texas a lot, so you know Austin is really up and coming in that area.
Sure. Yeah. COVID wasn't nice to Austin, dude. You know that.
No, I know that.
If you were pre-COVID and post-COVID Austin, it's back. It's back. And the whole thing, when you land at the Austin airport, that's where headquarters for our company is. So we're there constantly. And when you land there, as soon as you get off the plane, the first gift shop you pass, it's Keep Austin Weird. Austin is the lone reed in Texas that is historically blue and left, as opposed to it's liberal leaning as opposed to the rest of the state, which is shotguns and pickup trucks and pretty red. So it doesn't, from a sports standpoint, dude. I got to tell you, the passion in Dallas when we were there for just the SMU game and the whole thing, because I was asking the guys, because we're just taking it all in. Such a cool little stadium. They just made additions to down at SMU. We lost, of course. You're welcome. Figured we had to footnote that in. And we had such a nice visit, but I was like, they were wearing, the team had on something, and that all the D's connected to their logo were, and I didn't know this, it's Triple D Dallas. Like that's a whole thing in Dallas. But the sports fans are, I mean, if you're a Cowboys fan, you have to be committed passionately and probably mentally, right? But like in the grand scheme of things, I think they're a pretty passionate sports base. I don't see the benefit of them becoming the Austin Mavericks or the that doesn't. I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm sure it's a thing, but that doesn't make any sense.
But in Red Sox fashion, they beat him out the door, saying that they traded him because of his conditioning. Why do you got to say that?
Everybody said it, and it's so true. When it happened, I'm like, this is us losing Mookie.
Yeah.
This is a Mookie moment. Like, what are you doing?
He looks like Larry Bird, but he plays like Larry Bird, right, dude? I mean, he doesn't look. He's not physically fit, no. But man, the guy can play.
And Scotty, he shows up yesterday for the presser, and he looked like he was going to get school photos.
Yeah.
He walked in. I'm like, are you going to do the blue in the clouds? Do you want the oak tree behind you or the lasers? Don't forget, Mom and Dad, the lasers are extra. Yeah. Like he showed up, and I was like, oh my God, he's in a white Oxford button down with a crew neck sweater. He looked good. I'm not saying he looked. Yeah, he looked super clean, but like I was just like, oh, it's like school photo day.
I mean, he's 25, and that's how I dress. So I feel like I'm like right on the trend then. If that's
your dad, yeah.
But now, it's first of all, when we were all sorts of tore up when we saw that we got the news for reaction.
You were pregnant when this came out. I forgot.
Oh, it was there were many a gummy involved. And so I'm looking at my phone being like,
Scotty's
what?
got his phone upside down. He's like,
Yeah.
"You got traded to China." No, you're reading it.
We're
wrong.
all in an argument. We're in the hotel room at the time, and we were refreshing drinks at the time, and
Oh.
so we were all in there, Steve, Chris, and Travis, and I, and we started getting into an argument, like if it was real or not. We started like fighting.
Oh, it was like a NASCAR pit stop. You weren't going to bed. You were refueling to go downstairs again.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
Yeah.
What time is this? This is 11.
Whatever time it broke.
Whatever.
I lost track of time. A little after we left MJ's.
Well, Bubba's text was 12:38 our time, which tells me it was 11:38 for him, right? Because he's an hour back. I mean, but I don't know exactly when it all happened.
It was late. I know it was definitely late when it broke, but
yeah,
looking at the deal itself, it's a terrible deal for Dallas. I saw something that someone said the other day that we wouldn't blame you if you changed teams. Like this is if you want to change team, Dallas Mavericks fans, that's fine. No one would blame you right now. It's a horrible move. He's 25. He's 25. Yes, is he in like impeccable six-pack shape? No. But the dude has been in the league now for 7 years, and he's been a 5-time All-NBA player. Nobody in league history has done that.
He took you to the championship just a year ago.
The finals a year ago, exactly. It's wild to me, and I know they've had some off-court disagreements with like his conditioning and what's going on and stuff.
Yep.
And he's had this, I don't know if it's a groin or hamstring or whatever it is that he's been dealing with for a while, but for probably way too long. But at the same time, dude, that's your franchise. That's your franchise. Mm-hmm. Now, the Shaq comment, real quick, I don't know. Yes, I would say in the near term it looks good, only because here's the thing. Depending on when Luka starts to play with LeBron and stuff, it's going to be bumpy at first. It's definitely going to be bumpy. And the Lakers are overachieving right now anyway at 29-19, to be honest with you. So I think when he gets in there, how is that going to work? How is the ball going to flow? It's the same thing with Kyrie and Luka. It took them a while to kind of figure that out because they're both ball dominant players. So, we'll see, how it plays out, and it's going to take some time. So I would say I agree that in the near term, Dallas did win the trade because I think having Anthony Davis and Kyrie can be pretty lethal. But it's just it blows my mind that they ended up doing this. And Billy, I don't know what you think, but I think it was just a ridiculous move by Dallas.
Well, and Corey threw up. It's Feb 25 is the game, right? Dallas goes into LA on Feb 25. That's going to be really interesting. Go ahead, Ron Shoes. Go ahead, bud.
So they traded Luka, like you said, 25 years old, because they didn't like his conditioning, and they believe that's why he got hurt all the time. Traded him for a guy that's conditioned and gets hurt all the time.
Yeah, they're both out.
It's like, so maybe if AD stays healthy for 2 years, maybe they win the trade the first 2 years. I don't see that happening. If I was LA, I would ship LeBron out and stop building around Luka right now. And the quicker they can get rid of Luka and JJ Redick, LeBron and JJ Redick and Bronny, ship them all out the door, start rebuilding out there around Luka. And maybe once that happens, I get a Luka jersey.
I put it in the chat over the weekend. I'm like, have you already ordered it? And he's like, no.
I can't get one with LeBron on the team. Once LeBron's gone, then I can get one.
That's the X factor. Really? Yep. That's it?
Yep.
Now, I will say to that point though, I think it's almost guaranteed he comes back next year. I think it's almost guaranteed he comes back next year. Because look, here's the thing, and how much I hate the guy. I despise the man. But if you look at the way he's playing this season, he is still playing some pretty ridiculous basketball.
You cannot applaud Brady for what he did. Much better athlete, by the way, who I love. And then rip on LeBron because LeBron, is doing ridiculous stuff with the years
I can rip on
played.
LeBron.
Okay. Well, that's because you're a former Laker. I know. Yes.
Did Brady throw a touchdown pass, break a record, and then asked to be taken out of the game?
No.
No, listen.
The other night he got a rebound,
giving him credit.
Double, and he looks at JJ Redick and goes, "All right, take me out." It's like that's why he'll never be the GOAT.
I don't like him at
There's
all.
a lot of reasons why he won't be the GOAT, but
I don't like him at all. But I'll give him credit for what he's done in the sport. And couple things. I love that Scotty just said that. I want him to come back until it's bad. I don't want him to be Seinfeld. Like, oh, can you imagine if he stayed? Because we could all deny it right now, and he looks really good in that booth. Hi, Tommy. Everybody would be like, if Tommy stayed on one more year, we wouldn't be mad because we couldn't get enough, and we knew how generational it was. How many? Here's a question. I did zero research, and that's a complete sentence for the entire show. Almost at episode 200, by the way. I love you all. I don't know, but I'm guessing Dallas doesn't have any other Supermaxes right now, right? And they just got rid of the guy that was due a Supermax in like 20 minutes, right? Were they about to give him a Supermax?
It was going to be $400 million or something like that.
Yeah, 5 years, 375 or something like that, right?
The trade ends up costing Luka about $125 million because he can't earn the Supermax because he got traded to LA. So they just cost him about $125 million.
They effed him a little bit by doing that.
Oh, no, they effed him a lot.
$125
million is a lot of money.
Times.
Yeah. No, I know. And he just somebody said he just dropped about 15 on a new house in Dallas.
Yep.
So obviously he was blindsided. That goes without saying. What I think is really interesting is I find it hard to believe that LeBron wasn't in the know, but AD wasn't. There's a viral piece of footage where AD's talking and like, do you feel like you did blah blah? They were sort of talking past tense, and he looks up at the guy, and they're all around his locker, and he's like, "You guys make it sound like," and one dude, it gets real quiet, and one dude's like, "Check your phone." Have you seen that?
I haven't seen
No.
it.
It's a crazy piece of footage. Yeah, it had just happened.
I think the GMs of each team knew. That's it.
That's what it sounds like.
I thought Jason Kidd didn't know. That's for sure. That's some great footage. The Jason Kidd footage is great. He's like sitting at the dais while the GM's talking about it, and he's like,
"Yeah,"
like his look on his face, like what had happened was.
Well, don't forget how Luka acted during the finals. Like every time the play didn't go his way, he acted like a spoiled brat.
Yeah, that's
on the biggest stage.
That is offensive. The politically correct term is Patrick Mahomes.
But
I honestly,
he was in the finals to be able to complain.
Exactly, and he's 25. You know, he's still maturing. He's a kid, and he's honestly probably top 3 or 4 basketball players in the world. You don't trade him, and he's not even in his prime yet. Like you
don't trade him for a center who's 31 and a bag of peanuts. That's the Lakers made out. This reminds me of the Lakers when they got Wilt Chamberlain or Kareem, right? They just stole Shaq. They stole Shaq from Orlando.
Yeah. So going back, and I've
always seen them land on their feet.
Well, who was the deal? I want to say Paul George, and I'm wrong. Remember the deal? They stepped in and they said no. What was that deal?
That was Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Thank you, not Paul.
That was Chris Paul. They ended up getting Pau Gasol though, so really they didn't end up that bad. And then they ended up winning a couple more championships with him.
Yeah, they wouldn't have won that many championships with Chris Paul.
No,
they made up.
He'd still have 0.
Well, this reeks in a certain grab your tinfoil helmet. In a conspiracy theorist kind of way, this reeks of let's make sure we get LeBron back to the promised land. Like they're stocking the pond with koi for him at this point. Like it's a pretty big give. To your point, Scotty, he is definitely going to come back now. There's no way they're going to tell him not to.
It's not a bad. That's actually not a bad point to me. You think about the viewership this year and how poor it has been, right? This is a monumental trade. Like nothing like this has never happened before, where 2 players that made the All-NBA team a year ago got traded mid-season the following year. That's never happened before. So this is a huge one. It's going to probably the largest market or second largest market in basketball, right, outside of New York. It's obviously a massive franchise, and it has probably your biggest marketable star on there. Because it feels like the NBA is just not ready to pass that torch to Shea, to Ant, you know what I mean, to Tatum. they're still not ready to do that. It's still LeBron. It's still Steph that you see on all the commercials, right? That's what it is. And so, I think Timmy, you may not be super far off on that. I just don't know. Nico Harrison is a GM that's just, I don't know, man. Like, I hope you're bulletproof.
He won't have a job in 10
It's
minutes.
terrible to say, but good Lord, don't be driving around Dallas with your windows down, bro. Like,
what I love, I was texting it to you guys as a joke, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not that far off. I love that Utah and Danny Ainge were involved.
And Danny had no idea.
Danny gets to pop up out of the bushes. It's like it's like he pops out of the bushes like jackass. Like he gets to pop up and be like, we were this close. By the way, we were this close. The fact that they were the third team, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You know what footage now is? Everybody always says things that didn't age well. The footage that's aging really well right now, which is really interesting, is post Western Conference final. Luka standing with his dad, having a beer, and Finley skates in and takes the beer out of his hand.
Yep.
Like, how long has there been static between them and him? And honest to God, like, the kids of age just got you to the finals. Let's be honest. Most of the universe was convinced you were probably going to get your face kicked in by Tatum and the crew. But, like, let the kid have a beer with his dad.
There's another thing that they've thrown out there that Michael Finley is the 5th leading scorer in Dallas Mavericks history, and Luka is number 6. He's like 300 points behind him.
Oh,
that's super. That would be super petty.
There's so many grassy knolls. I love this, and it's Dallas. I'll take it. So many grassy knolls in this one. That's amazing.
Are you guys monitoring the Jimmy Butler thing? What do you guys think of that?
Oh,
no team wants him. No team wants him.
Why would you? Why would you?
I wouldn't want him. He's done this so many times.
Right.
He pitches a fit, and I want out, and I'm not coming back, and they get traded. No. The Golden State Warriors are the only team that said, I want him, and he won't sign an extension there, so that's all you got.
Yeah. No, nobody wants him. They held up a bunch of the trades that, and you just might, honestly. I mean, he's not a young pup. I mean, he's 36, 37, 38, something like that. So he's getting up there in age too. But there were some other deals that have been done, but I noticed the bigger ones were in the Western Conference. Like De'Aaron Fox going to San Antonio, I think is a great move for the Spurs. I think having him, that was insane by Sacramento. Yeah, that was a crazy deal for the Kings, who just got Valanciunas. Okay. But good job, Kings. But yeah, it was a weird deal there. But I think for the Spurs, having Wemby and now Fox, that's huge for them. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they try to swing a Chris Paul trade, get him out, because the Spurs, I mean, they're only 3 games back from the final playoff spot, but having those 2 young kids together, it's a young team. I think that'll Pop will be able to do. But the only Eastern Conference move was a big, semi-big one, because he's super athletic and kind of replaces the exact same position that they just traded for. Was Kuzma just got traded for Chris Middleton for the Bucks. So I know you're shaking your head, Corey. It's an athletic wing. He's an athletic wing. Yeah. He doesn't play great defense.
He can't play defense.
I know we can't play defense, but he can score.
Middleton can't play defense anymore either. He's injured more than he's not before.
He's shot. You know what I mean? Like his knees are done. So So for me, I think that's the only real big move I've seen in the Eastern Conference. Been no moves in the East. Everything's been done out West.
And Phoenix is apparently shopping Durant.
Yeah. But it's going to be hard for them to. He doesn't want to go back to Golden State. Number one, that's not going to happen.
Why does he want to go back to Golden State?
That I don't know. I've just heard reports that he just doesn't. He doesn't want.
I've read him too, but there's nothing that says why.
Yeah. No idea. But he doesn't want to go back there. So obviously he's not going to Brooklyn or anywhere like that. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like where. Plus his the way his contract and stuff works, they'd have to figure that out. But yeah, I don't know. It's good. What, one more day, right? Tomorrow at 4:00.
Tomorrow at 4:00. Yeah, I think the Celtics are up to something.
Really?
They did make a small trade. they traded Jaden Springer. You sent that, I think, Corey.
Which I really like. I really liked his game the last 10, 15 games when he's played.
Yeah.
He plays with passion, power. His defensive assignments are tight. He's looking for the ball, where before he was just out there just garbage time. Now he's out there with a purpose.
Yeah, he was definitely playing with intent for sure. I liked him too, and I mean it opens up the roster spot. So maybe there's something like they're looking for after the trade deadline where you can get the the veteran minimum and pick someone up, something to that effect. I don't know.
Or do we move a Red Claw up?
I've watched some of the Red Claws games or Maine Celtics. We gotta call them Maine
It's
Celtics.
the Red Claws. It's not the Maine
Always
Celtics.
the Red
It's a Red
Claws to me.
Claw.
Yeah,
There's a crustacean at center court. It's the fucking Red Claws. And as a season ticket holder, you should call them up and get that straightened out.
You're not still a season ticket holder, are you?
Corey's
I do still have them.
Of course
I still
he
have
does.
them.
Of course he does. Oh,
You
look
live
at
in,
Scotty.
I give them away.
Don't you live in like one of the Carolinas? What is happening?
Yeah. It's a good tax write-off.
He donates them to the Boys and Girls Club.
You haven't given them to Fife Lane over here. Just saying.
Yeah, he's got
whenever you wanna
36
go.
kids. He can go. Yeah, he's got Scotty and the whole tribe. Put him in the Wonder Van.
I'd send Rubber Shoes, but he's a Laker fan.
What is the equivalent? Have they ever come in? Oh God, you're wearing it today, and you get your macaroni muscles out. Look at his arms.
I would
I
wear.
don't have any Laker jerseys.
I would wear a
do
jersey
not-
like that.
I
too
love
if had
you,
the-
William Francis Corey. I love you, and you have to be lying. You have to be lying. There's no way you don't have any Lakers gear.
One, I do not have any.
Steph, Mom.
What if it's maybe not Los Angeles?
There's a Magic.
Minneapolis Lakers like with the blue.
Wait.
No,
He's filling in the line now.
There's a Magic Johnson figure right there, and I have a Kobe figure somewhere, but no jerseys, no shirts.
Kobe transcends teams. He's the one. Are you kidding me? You no hats, no nothing.
Nothing.
Nope. I don't.
No
believe
Lakers.
I don't believe it.
I've been wanting to get a Magic Johnson jersey for a long time, but it's the color. I have to get the whole outfit. I got to get sneakers, a hat, everything. Like it's because of the purple. I don't have anything that goes with it, so that's why I've been.
You have to.
You can wear black. You don't have to wear purple.
Yeah. So I have the Luka Dallas jersey. And I have a pair of Jordans that go with them already when I bought them.
As you have to. Yeah, sure. Understood.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh,
You're
boy.
a fast Nisha, that's for sure, Rubber Shoes.
It's OCD more than anything.
Everything goes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. He's like, remember the show Entourage? He's like Turtle from Entourage.
Right.
So on LA making a run, I don't think they got a great player, but they lost a lot of defense, and they're not a very deep team. So I don't see them making unless they do something at the trade deadline to add to the team or something.
Well, now
in the
they need a
offseason.
center. They definitely need a center.
I don't think they're built to make a run.
Did anybody watch Kyrie? Did anybody watch Kyrie when they interviewed him about how he heard about Luka?
No.
So first of all, his whole get up, he's got like an earring, and then he's got this long feathered earring that he wears all the time. Just
Of course.
I'm still grieving, he says. Like grieving?
Oh,
Why?
Yeah. Yes. He was my amigo or whatever. I heard the audio. I didn't see the video. I heard the audio.
No. I was just like, I listened to this guy and I'm just like, I'm so glad you don't wear Celtics green anymore. He's a nut job. He is a serious nut job.
Yep.
He's
But
different.
he's got probably the smoothest handles I've ever seen on a basketball player.
Yeah.
He is so freaking smooth.
So
dude.
talented.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he's the NBA's Kanye. Like you can have all. He's easy for the NBA. Like you can have all your thoughts about both of them, but in their element.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like, we got courtside for a Mavericks game and you can go watch him do his thing, you're in. And if you had some safe seats at a Yeezy show, I'd go 4,000%. I'd go. I wouldn't pay to go to either of them, but somebody's like, "You want to go?" Yep, I'm in. Because watching somebody that talented in their discipline do their thing. But yeah, he's like, yeah, I don't want to argue with you about the dinosaurs and if the world is flat. It's like having Carl Crawford all over again on the Red Sox. Like, can we just play inside the white lines now? You know. But he's amazing when you get there. When you get there, it's ridiculous.
Oh, the talent is great.
It'll be fun to watch. I think AD and him when they're on. What's happening? Wes Welker retired again. What are we missing?
No. So Tyler just sent this to me. He's like, I wouldn't read that much into it, but a few rumblings are that Drew Holiday trade has been popping up.
Interesting.
Really?
So that's really hypothetical thrown out there is something like Holiday to the Grizzlies for Smart and one of their bigs.
Nope.
They would save around $4 to $6 million.
Absolutely not. That's a terrible deal.
There it is.
Terrible deal.
It'd be a terrible deal. I love Marcus.
I love Marcus. I love Marcus.
We won because he left.
If we're casting votes, I know. If we're casting votes, I'll take it. I love it. That could be our get right move, maybe. And I was just going to ask you guys, Bruins and Celtics collectively. Like, I feel like we've had a couple of games. I feel like we're in like a get right click right now. Are we good? Do you think?
Don't get sucked into the Bruins.
Oh, look at you. So soured. So soured. All right, well, let's talk Celtics then. Let's start there. Like I
think, well, I mean, one, I'd love
last night had to be a statement game. We had to had to
definitely
happen. Had to happen.
The last two games, you look at what they did Sunday against Philly. You know what I mean? Like, they came out as flat could be, down by 26 in the second half and rallied to win. You know, I know Philly didn't have Embiid, not that I care about that, but still, like, and Mazzulla challenged them and they stepped up and they answered that. Yeah. And then last night, absolutely. You know, they got up. I wouldn't say so. Everyone's like, oh, they were up big. They were by like 16, I think, or 17 at one point. That's not big anymore in the NBA. You know, anything above 20, I'll say that's a big comeback. But 16 points and nowadays, 16 points in like the second quarter, or you know what I mean? Like, it's just not. That's 16, 17 points in the second quarter. That's not a big comeback. But no, they look great. You know, I honestly, their defense against like Evan Mobley, who was like 3 for 14 or something, you know, and he's been one of the better big men in the league. That was huge. It was nice to see them play that way. Porzingis was so active and looked great. And you know, I thought they've been looking more engaged. They're in a mode now where I still think they're still somewhat coasting, and you'll see them turn it on a little bit more once the All-Star break. I think they're just trying to get to that All-Star break, just kind of have that, and then you'll see more of what you're seeing now, except probably even better after the All-Star break.
What do you make?
Agree with
go ahead.
The defense has gotten better. I agree the defense has gotten better, but I think if they're going to make a move before the trade deadline, or maybe a little after, they need to focus on maybe saving a little bit of money, which I think they did today, and getting another top-tier center, another big, and dealing with that front court. So I think that's going to be their weakest point when they go into the playoffs.
Good. I mean, it depends. I guess it depends on. It depends. I mean, with Kornet, Horford, they've been limiting his minutes all season anyway. He doesn't play in back-to-backs. You know what I mean? Like, he's missed a ton of time. So, you know, playoff Al is always fun. But, yeah, I mean, it could be something that could be a problem. I don't think it's a big enough problem where you trade a Drew Holiday, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's that big of a weakness. You know, with Porzingis, you know, knock on wood, he stays healthy, Kornet, and then Jesus, I'm blanking on his name.
It's a hard name to say.
Yeah, Kite, whatever his name is. I'm blanking on his name. You know what I'm talking about.
Keita. I was just gonna say, it's like
not gonna work here anymore.
He was playing so good, and then like the last month, he hasn't been playing.
He started to fall off a bit, and I think that's probably why his rotations on defense weren't great. He was starting to make some mistakes.
He was missing big time,
and they were switching on him a lot, and then they were like, and I love Scal. But Scal gets fired. Oh, look at him. He's going to guard he can guard the guard. No, he can't guard the guard. Shut the fuck up. He can't guard the little guy. Okay. Would you stop saying that? It drives me nuts when you say that. He can't. And then he gets blown by and he's like, oh, but he was close. No, he wasn't. Shut up. Just stop. I know you love him. And
Age pops out of the crowd. We were this.
Yeah, it was like Bronny trying to guard Maxey.
Right?
Oh my goodness. That was awful.
Ridiculous.
By the way, I'm going to my first NHL hockey game in forever. I'm flying to Nashville and going to see the Predators play the Buffalo Sabres on Saturday.
Oh, wonderful.
Nice.
What time is that game?
7:00 Central. So 8:00 Eastern.
6. Oh, 8. Sorry, 8. Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody here. God bless Janina's company. They have all the seats to all the things. So we've got the Bruins on. We're in the company box at the Whittemore Center, which is the only way I would go to UNH hockey. So we got BC at UNH Friday night in the company box, and then we're going to be in the company seats for the Bruins on Saturday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so full weekend of the ice skating.
Who are they playing Saturday?
Saturday we got the Knights coming in, Golden Knights. Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Should be pretty good.
North Chelmsford zone.
Yeah. Jack Eichel. Yep. So question for you guys too. Staying on the NBA, which the whole episode's been that. Then we're going to decide if Kansas City becomes the greatest football team in America. What do you feel about the? There's been some scuttlebutt about maybe going to 10-minute quarters. They talked about that with the NBA, and also the talk of limiting, and it's all stuff they're just throwing pasta against the cabinets to see what sticks. But the other thing that I've heard thrown around that Adam Silver said there are discussions about maybe limiting to certain parts of the game or to the end of the quarters is the only time you can shoot a 3. Do you think any of that stuff makes sense? Do you think going to 40-minute games is going to matter? Is that going to help with anything?
Well, I'm sure the players will love it because they have to play less than they already do.
Sure.
But they get paid more than they
Embiid will love it.
No, he won't. He'll still find an excuse not to get on the court. I think you're messing with the structure of basketball. The basic structure of basketball is running plays to take advantage of your strengths and the other team's weaknesses. So by pigeonholing yourself, saying you can't shoot a 3 from the 3-minute mark on, no, that's not how you play basketball.
Yeah.
That's not how you play a game.
No, it's terrible. That's the worst idea I've heard in a long time. The 10-minute quarter thing. I mean, look, everyone's talking about shortening stuff because we're in a attention span.
Yeah.
Starved world now, and like golf's been way too long for so long, and that's been like the biggest topic forever. It's just, you got to shorten speed the play up. Baseball, they got the pitch clock. You know what I mean? Like,
maybe they don't call so many fouls.
Yeah, well, it's honestly, to me, I don't think they're going to change it. If they do, losing the 8 minutes isn't the end of the world to me. But at the same time, like 12-minute quarters. Also, the thing is, you pay money to go see a full game of basketball. I want to go. If I paid money to see 48 minutes, I want to see 48 minutes. It's not like a 40. I'm not paying to go see college basketball. If I wanted to do that, I would. I want to see the NBA product for 48 minutes. Let me do that. So yeah, I know the viewership and stuff like that is down, but I think also it's just a cycle. I think there's different cycles that that the product goes through. As for the 3-pointer, to Corey's point, you have teams that are built on the 3-pointer that actually can do it, like the Boston Celtics. If they start doing that's a massive competitive disadvantage for teams that are built for that and run their offense in that manner. So there's no way that they'll be able to get away with that with the NBA PA, not just the fact that you're not going to be able to get away with the competition committee. So I don't see that happening.
It's so there's one way
if anything, I could see a 4-point play, like they're shooting from the ocean right now anyway.
Right.
I think that would be actually a worse idea because they're just gonna more like, you know what I mean? Unless you're saying an and one for a 4-point play, so that you're promoting to try to get to the basket more.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. No, I was just thinking like shooting it from even further than 3-point line.
I think they were trying to diminish. They're trying to less
I know
threes,
they are,
right?
but
Less deep shots because you got teams like Washington that shoot 28% from three, but still huck it 40 times a game. You know what I mean? Where the Celtics are shooting almost 40%, 40 something percent from three, and they're shooting obviously most in NBA history, but they're making them at a good clip. And it's funny, people are like, well, they're only shooting like 41%. That's a really high number. Especially how difficult it is to make a NBA 3-point shot. So it is a pandemic. Because I see kids like when I was coaching this year, watching these 8th grade kids and 7th grade kids just chuck up threes.
Shotgosaurus
like,
Rex.
oh my God, stop doing that. What
So
are we doing?
do
The
they-
mid range
do
is
they-
still there, and it's still
do they-
very, very valuable.
Do they check up threes and then fall down on the ground if anyone's near them?
Yes.
No, they didn't do any of that.
Oh.
Didn't do
Scotty
any of that.
marches out with the red card.
See, back in my day, we weren't shooting threes. We were trying to dunk the ball, right? Remember that? We were all trying at 8th grade. We were trying to dunk the ball, right?
Right.
Now they're chucking threes. Yeah.
The problem with the NBA is they got so many of their stars that don't play every night, and that's a huge problem. I think they should be able to restructure the contracts that they get paid per game that they play. That'll force them to play more games. Like they get the contract for the season. It doesn't matter how many games they play, and you got people like Embiid and what's his name, Paul George, that they haven't played. If I was the Sixers, I would send both of those guys away and rebuild around Maxey. He's their future right there.
He is the star. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got like guys like Tatum plays every day, and I love Tatum's attitude towards it.
Boston's lucky.
Yeah, Tatum and Brown, they have this great attitude where it's like, I don't get, I'm going to the city, maybe once a year. There's someone that bought a ticket potentially to see me. I'm not going to disappoint.
Yep.
And that was the mentality that Jordan had. But you have another players have it too. Shea has it. There's a lot of players that are fine with, I have no problems playing back to back. I have no problems, playing 82 games. And then you have players that just are, like Embiid, that just don't want to do that. And it's sad. And they tried to tax them a bit in regards to like incentives, and that you're not allowed to be a part of any of the awards at the end of the year if you miss X amount of games. And with a bunch of players like Luka and others have been hit by that because they've missed so many games. And that's maybe the next step, Billy, is to say, start putting in contracts like you have to play this amount of games or you get paid per game. Maybe that's like, maybe not the next step, or maybe it's a couple steps down the road. But yeah,
another thing is, you look at All-Star Weekend. The stars used to compete in the dunk contest and the 3-point contest. They wanted to be there for the weekend and do those things, and now it's like you get like they're like bench players in the dunk contest this year. It's like crazy. It's like Tyler told me the guys. I'm like the only guy I knew was McClung because he won the last 2 years.
Yeah,
and he's like barely in the league.
Yeah, it's super watered down. I mean, I don't want them to get rid of any of the All-Star games, the Pro Bowl. I want all that stuff to stay, but they've got to find a way to make it intriguing. I mean, Janine and I clicked over real quick just to be like, oh yeah, there it is, and then we clicked away because there's nothing really going on.
I didn't even know,
and it's because nobody wants to get hurt. And I get all that, but they've got to find a way, even with dumbing it down, and there's no contact in the NHL. Like they're not hitting each other. Nobody's doing anything. That's all patty cake. But they've got to find a way to make it intriguing. And when the All-Star game, are they still doing it with the Major League All-Star game? Like it determines who has home field in the World Series, or is that out the window now?
That was just a 1-year thing, and then they changed it.
Just 1 year? I thought they did it more than that. Yeah, I don't know how they fix that, but
the NHL's not even
go away. But
NHL's not even having an All-Star this year.
It's the 4 Nations. Yeah, 4 Nations this year. Yep. Interesting. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it. I think we're just going to do our predictions for the Super Bowl. We'll have more stuff to talk about next week, obviously, because we have all the gaps after that, because football will be done. But do we have a line? Do we have a Vegas line? You were just there.
1.5. Kansas City 1.5.
Kansas City 1.5. What's the over/under?
I think it was 48.
Is this your bookies numbers or is this actual FanDuel DraftKings numbers?
Yeah, those. I think it's 48.5.
Okay. This is going to be tough. Who's going first?
I'll go first. 29-20 Philadelphia Eagles, because Mahomes can't come down and win or tie at the end of the game. So they're going to win by 9.
Why can't he come down and win and tie by the end of the game? Because you think he's just going
to
do it?
They'll only be able to get 8.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So
29-20 Philly. All right.
Although my other prediction is Kansas City wins. Kelsey proposes to Taylor Swift.
For God's sakes. And then he retires. I've heard that 9 million times.
I thought we were going to go through the whole show without hearing about a Swiftie. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, God. Yeah. And I wish them all the best. If they're truly happy, awesome. But, the fact that people are like, oh, they win, he proposes, then he retires, all in one statement. It's like that.
He's already come out and said it. He's not retiring. He said that this week. He said that he's coming back. He said, I love what I'm doing too much. I'm not retiring. It's not even a thought.
Yeah, well, and his brother is proven, and his brother's arguably, I think his brother is going to be much better doing the media stuff than he will be doing the media stuff. He might be a hair, if not the same as Gronk on a dais. I don't know if I'd want to watch him on TV break down the game for me. But somebody's going to sign him, because if he's married to Mrs. Music, he's going to get signed by somebody. But yeah, Scotty, I'm not surprised he's already said that. Like the gravy train for him is he knows whatever he wants to do after football is going to be waiting for him. And right. I think his only concern is probably I'd like to be able to tie my shoes in my old age, and I want to remember my future beautiful wife's name when I wake up in the morning. So, but again, I don't think he takes the hits that Gronk took. And, I'm not saying that he hasn't taken hard hits, but he hasn't had a history of, Tua. Tua's probably trying to figure out what he had for breakfast right now. Like Tua's pretty banged up. So yeah, I think, Kelsey coming back makes sense, because that gravy train's wide open and they could do some real damage. Especially if they get the reps they need this weekend.
Reed's already said he's coming back too, so they're basically being back.
Yep, and and the big focus is going to be everybody. I haven't heard a lot about it, but I'm sure in a couple more days the talk is going to be that Brady's doing the color for the game, in which the kid's going to do something that he never did, and they're going to make a big thing about that. So,
real quick though, I'm not going to say They three-peat. I think that's amazing. Mm-hmm. you tip your hat, you three-peat. That's amazing. Yep. Do I think that this puts them above the Patriots dynasty? No. And the reason why is this: one, they've been doing this now for 7 years. This is their 7th year. Mm-hmm. They need 12 more years of dominance. 12 more years of dominant football for them to actually start to be having in that, to be in that conversation. And, is it possible? Maybe, but I still don't put them in that same category with that Patriots dynasty. 19 years, 20 years of ridiculously dominant football. I don't think a three-peat supersedes that.
I love you, and 44 and a half states disagree with us. Right? Western Connecticut and the rest of the country disagree with us.
Like Gronk said, it'd be the best dynasty for half of our dynasty.
Yeah, no,
that's the thing. They need the longevity. Are they a dynasty? Yes, they're not the best because they didn't do it for 20 years,
right?
And they don't have 6 championships. Are they on their way? Yes, but they're not the best.
Yeah. And
the same with the GOAT. He still has to get to 7 to be Brady, to tie Brady.
Right.
We'll have time to talk about this next week. My prediction is if they win at about 9:48 p.m. on Sunday night, ESPN will be unwatchable for about a year.
Yeah.
About a year.
So who do you have to me?
I don't know how you can have sound mine, and I love you, Rubber Shoes. I appreciate your score.
I'm changing my score, actually.
Here it comes. Here
Shocking.
it comes.
Shocking.
What had happened was what?
No,
What? All right, go ahead.
I need it to be 32 Eagles, 23 Chiefs, so I can win 15 grand.
Oh, do you have a bet on this? All right, 32.
What are you gonna do with that
23.
15 grand?
All right, so
Well,
you're
actually,
not changing the
I
winner.
split it. I'll only get 7 and
He's gonna go get a
7
fucking
and a half.
Lakers shirt. Is what he's
I'll
gonna
only get
That's where he's
7,500.
gonna stop. The
I'll
nicest
only get
Lakers shirt in
7,500 of that.
America.
I forgot I split the square.
Luka
with
the
someone.
Laker. Okay, all right. So it's a score change. You're not changing your team. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, it's still Philly.
I don't know how you can bet against the Chiefs. There's
Easy.
too much inertia in that direction. I hope me rooting for the Chiefs ruins it for them. Absolutely. And if we're talking about 48, so yeah, we're 27-24 Chiefs.
I got
27,
2 words.
24.
I got 2 words for you. Saquon Barkley.
I hope so. But if they're smart, and they are, and Andy Reid is a phenomenal coach. You go to the Belichick blueprint, and what do? You take away their strength, and if they've got the line that can control Saquon, if they play it right.
No.
They have
That's Kansas City's weaknesses against the run.
Okay, and there could be an anomaly. There could be some help too. There's my tinfoil helmet.
Oh, go ahead.
If they can control him, and they can knock that down. I'm not saying that you don't still have a dynamic quarterback under center. You do, but now you're forcing him to throw. And I think if they can get if you watch the playoffs, the Eagles were benefiting from the fact that the elephant in the room is Saquon, and yet nobody could still stop it. He had some runs in the playoffs. That's what I'm saying.
You don't think
like
other teams tried to stop him?
I do. And I think that
I love it when mom and dad fight.
No, I'm just saying the soon to be three-peat, the soon to be greatest dynasty on planet America is going to get it done, and with or without the referee's help. But I know that gets Kelsey all mad because he was asked, "What do you love more, Taylor Swift or the referees?" And he's like, "Anybody else got questions?" I pray there is referee assistance on Sunday. Because I want that to be the dialogue for sports radio, for us for the next 6 months. I pray that it is
It was the
blatant.
same thing with the Patriots, dude. It was the same thing. Patriots
It
got all the
wasn't.
calls.
Stop.
Barkley will go over 150 and have 2 touchdowns.
I'm going to keep writing this down. So I'm 27-24, bad guys, and I hope rooting for them ruins it for them.
Go ahead, Corey. I'm still trying to figure out the score in my head.
I'm 43-36.
Whoa.
43-36 Eagles.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a lot of scoring.
Way over the over-under.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right. I'm actually going to go totally the opposite direction as Corey. It's going to be a boring-ass game, 21-17. And no one's going to want to watch it because nobody wanted to watch this anyway. But 21-17.
Yes,
yeah, 21-17. I got to agree with Timmy. I think the Chiefs take it. I think Philly has a better defense, but I'm going to, I don't see the officials allowing this to happen. And it's just, the whole 1-score game streak that they've got going on is just a little ridiculous. So I could see that happening. Do I want it to happen? Absolutely not. I want Philadelphia to win. But if I bet against Kansas City, they'll win. So I'll bet on Kansas City.
I would love that. Yes.
That's why Philly's going to win by 2 scores.
There you go.
Well, and
Philadelphia. Philly's defense can definitely, I think, can contain Mahomes. I think that it's one of the best defense, if not the number 1 rated defense in the NFL. They're really, really, it's a stud defense. And it depends on if Nick Sirianni, whatever his punchable face is, it just runs the football like he has. As long as he does that and controls it, I think he'll be fine.
How you doing? Oh yeah, real good.
Yeah, real good. This is my costume. Nobody knows
That's
what
a
we're
good
talking
story.
about. Yeah, well, and my score for the Chiefs too is like have they done it yet? Maybe they did it in the playoffs and I wasn't paying attention. Possible. The Chiefs haven't scored 30 all year, have they? Have they broken the 30 ceiling this year?
Yeah.
They have.
Pretty sure they have.
No, I felt like they hadn't. That was pretty consistent through most of the year. All right, maybe they have. Okay, I believe you. But that to me is one of the biggest signs that they're getting a decent amount of assistance. And Corey, I'll fight you all fucking day on that. Like, it's not. They are not experiencing the assistance that the Patriots experienced.
I didn't say they were. The media is saying that when the Patriots were winning, they were getting all the calls and they were getting all the everything. Yeah, I didn't say they were.
Sure, no, and I agree, and it's always like things are going to fall your way when you're doing well, and were we the prima donnas and the referees wanted things to go our way? Sure, yes. Did we get some calls we probably shouldn't have gotten? Yes. As prevalent and as blatant as it has been? No.
They scored 32 against the Bills.
Yeah, I was gonna say they scored 30. They scored 30 like 4 times.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you getting fact checked now by Rubbish Shoes?
Well, I listen, and I'm always wrong anyway. It's a staple of the show. Timmy has no idea what's happening.
I mean, they haven't
just gets on and yells emotionally and gets kicked out of youth football games. That's what we do.
Yeah, they're not dropping.
That's how we roll.
They didn't score as many points this year as they usually have. It was like that. It was definitely a down year for them and for Mahomes,
which makes it even more annoying that they're back where they are. Yeah, it's troublesome. What are you guys doing for the game? Where are you for the game?
I'm at the house.
Downstairs, Scotty.
Okay. Ryan is coming over with Sarah, and the kids will hang out for a bit, and then they'll leave probably early, and Ryan will
John
stay.
Mayer's swinging over. Love it. Good for him. Are you traveling, Corey? You're going to be home?
I'll be home for it. I'm flying back from Nashville Sunday afternoon, and then I'm going to a football party with the DJ company that I work for here in South Carolina.
Sweet.
Nice.
Sweet. And Rubbish Shoes? Are you at the firehouse, are you?
Nope. I'm home. Be home. Steph has no interest in watching it, so maybe Tyler will be here.
Such a good woman. I love
Make
that.
me a sandwich.
Are you home with the missus, Timmy?
Yeah, we'll be home. We'll be home for it. And she has zero interest. I'm gonna keep it on because I can't wait to watch whatever unfolds. I mean, here's the thing. She would never actively be watching a non-Patriot Super Bowl anyway. You know, so it'll just sort of be on the background for her. If the assistance from the Zebras is excessive, and I think all eyes are on it, so it probably won't be. But I don't want to miss the catastrophe that's coming. And I'm super excited about Kendrick Lamar. Nothing wrong with that. I hope it's a good halftime show though, because sometimes they can be dog meat. The last one that I loved was Rihanna. She was amazing. But like the one a couple of years ago with all the different cubes and everybody from Los Angeles, and that was not good. That was poorly done. But
I'm excited for the commercials.
The commercial stop.
I'm excited for the trailers. I like
such a dick. What trailers are you worried about? What trailers are you excited about?
The movie trailers. I get excited about movie trailers. I'm a nerd.
Oh,
There's a new Jurassic World that actually just came out. And yeah, it comes out the 14th.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna lose your mind when you see that, Captain. I saw the trailer. Bubba and I had gone to see Gladiator 2, and that trailer was on first. I'm like, oh, Uncle Scotty's gonna lose his mind when he sees this.
Yeah, I hope they have a better Fantastic Four trailer that launches than the one that is out right now.
Yeah, that was like a teaser, you know. But
yeah,
they also don't. I don't like the whole countdown thing. That was a bit much. Especially for like a 1.5-minute teaser.
What happened?
They had a whole countdown to it. There was like a live stream basically, and they basically made people wait an hour, you know, and then they like counted down, and then the actual Fantastic Four, the actors came out and spoke for a little bit. Yeah, it was, and then they ran the teaser, and I was like, okay, could have just launched the teaser and it would have been fine. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean the movie looks good. But I need to see a little bit
fans
more.
are excited because Fox ruined the first two, so hopefully Marvel can fix it.
Yeah.
Where else can you get sports
and
movies?
Scotty, but I have no idea what you're talking about. So there it is.
You're not alone.
DC, watch Scotty's blood pressure. DC, Marvel, it's all the same.
Oh my God. I gotta go.
I gotta go. He's gonna go scatter holy water. Oh, sorry for Philadelphia. Holy water. We will be back next week. We have no idea when that's going to happen. Yeah, we're aiming for Tuesday, I believe, if you guys can mark your calendars. Next Tuesday, we'll be back. Thank you to Adam, stuck in hair and makeup. Corey, where are you today?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Oh.
It was 84 degrees on Monday, and it's been in the 30s the last couple of days.
Really?
That's not the story we have here. We have different weather here for sure. More snow tomorrow.
Go get yelled at.
All right, see you, bud. See you, bud. We have more snow tomorrow. We're getting more snow Sunday. I don't know. It's out of control. It's not. You can
have it.
It's not, we will have it. For Joe and Leslie, our dear friends at AAA Work Trucks, for everybody on the show, Rubber Shoes. Scotty's already getting yelled at. He had to leave. I pissed him off. DC and Marvel. Confusing those two, that is so sacrilegious to him. Losing his mind. And for of course Corey in Oklahoma, are you going out for a steak? Is it a ribeye night, or are you ordering in?
It's ribeye and pigs in a blanket.
Oh, sounds personal. Take photos and throw them into the chat. We'll be back at it. We'd love for you to subscribe and of course comment and share, and above and beyond that, we're back at it next Tuesday night. Have a great week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Go Chiefs. God, that was painful to say out loud.